Well, hello there! Welcome back to the Virtual Writing Academy, where we learn by doing and by writing. Hello there! Today, I have a special exercise for you. If you're unfamiliar with these videos and what we're doing, I recommend you check out the playlist in the description down below and catch up. The Virtual Writing Academy is a space for you to sit down and get some writing done. There is time in this video that has been allocated for you to get some writing done. Pick up pen and paper or open up your favorite writing software of choice. There is time in this video, as with the previous ones. I'm going to provide an exercise, a couple of ideas for you to get your thoughts going, maybe even a little twist. And then the writing begins. I give you a nice little warning along the way, but the music fades out and I come back in and we discuss. We share our writing, our thoughts, our feelings, and we move on from there. This particular time around, I have a bit of an interesting exercise. There's something that I've been wanting to do, and I thought, well, if I've had this idea for an exercise forever, why not put it here? This seems like a great place to inspect this really interesting scenario, okay? So, you clicked on this video. I'm going to assume that you're down to get some writing done. There's time in this video. You clicked on this video, you got time to do some writing, right? Right. So, in that case, how about you go grab your favorite notebook and pen, or open up your favorite writing software of choice, or if you're like the really clever and astute writerly friends out there who start up the video with Microsoft Word or Evernote on the other screen, then let's get started. I'm gonna give you a little bit of time to get ready. I'm gonna assume at the count of 3 that you are ready to get moving and going. Okay. 3, 2, 1, let's go. You have your writing utensils, you got your things ready. Hopefully, you have a nice space for yourself, maybe a room, maybe a little place in the library. You've got headphones on, and you're ready to get some writing done. Before we go on there, I want to give you the formal disclaimer, as always, that the following prompt that I'm about to give you is here to get you to write. It is not set in stone. What I mean is that I want to inspire you. You're not only encouraged, but it is recommended that you change, twist, morph, do whatever you want to this prompt to make it work for you. And yes, you are right, you may even adapt this prompt to make it work into whatever story you're working on at this very moment. Or let's say that you are thinking of submitting a short story idea for a contest in your school or college. Then consider this maybe a launch pad for that. Whatever you make during this process is entirely yours, so make this prompt work for you, okay? And remember, as always, that the purpose of this entire exercise is to get some writing done. Write without worrying about what it looks like or what it sounds like, or without giving time to those little thoughts and worries and fears in the back of your mind. The point of this is to get some writing done. It doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to be written. Okay? Okay, without any further ado, let's take it from the top. Today's prompt is titled Last Words. Write a scene from the point of view of a character as they have a conversation with the person who ruined their life. A few things to keep in mind. How exactly did that person ruin your character's life? How does that person feel about it? Was it a mistake or was it on purpose? And I would like to propose an optional twist, if you may. You don't have to use it, you can take it or leave it, up to you. But what if, instead of talking to a person, your character was talking to a gravestone? What if the person who ruined their life died a long time ago? Now, there's a couple of things that I want you to consider before we dive into this prompt in full, okay? Dialogue is the way in which characters talk about how they feel, how they tell us what they really think. What a person says is inherently a reflection of what they believe. During this exercise, I want you to let your characters talk without second-guessing them or trying to aim what they're trying to say. Let them speak. And if you feel at a loss, remember that the way people talk doesn't always make sense. Dialogue is a place where all the rules of writing are inherently broken because people don't talk like things are written. People cut each other off or skip words or shorten sentences. I'm doing it right now as I'm talking. Let that character talk. Your story may be a monologue, especially if you're considering the idea of the gravestone. Or it may be two people talking back and forth. Or just maybe there may not even be any dialogue in your story. There are no rules here, just guidelines. Jump in there, but if you do decide to let your characters talk, let them talk. Let them be people, okay? Okay. The time to write is almost upon us. I'm gonna give you one last thing. If you want it, if not, that's okay. A lot of people struggle with the very first line of a story or a prompt, so I'm gonna give you one, okay? You don't have to take it. You can change it, morph it, twist it, do whatever you want with it. But I'm gonna give it to you in case that you're not sure how this story begins and you don't want to be stuck there on the very first line. We all know that feeling. This story begins like this. Do you even remember me? And now, let's get started. Jump in. Fearlessly, without doubt, without hesitation, right as the story comes to you. It doesn't have to be good. It just has to be written, okay? Get some writing done. The writing begins at the count of 3, 2, 1, go! "60 seconds remaining." Alright, time's up, pencils down, fingers of the keyboard! Welcome back, and thank you for doing some writing. There's a couple of things I want to talk about. But first and foremost, people out there have been leaving comments, and I love them, they're precious. I love hearing what you're doing with these prompts. And some people out there, and this has been the comment that I've gotten since the very start of this series, like years ago. The original version of the series. And everyone says that like the 60-second reminder is cruel because it just surprises you and shocks you, and then you have to get back into writing and pull off those last 60 seconds. Our writing college professor in college, she would give us a 10-second warning just to finish the last sentence, and that was even more cruel, I thought, because you can't wrap that up. 10 seconds is not long enough. I thought 60 was a little bit more fair, but it's one of those things where, what are you gonna do? I hope you had fun though. This particular exercise, it's one of those things, I feel it's a very human thought to wonder if you could talk to the person who ruined your life. What would you tell them? What would you say? And what would they say back? What did your character say? Did they speak to someone who could talk back? Or was it that maybe there was nothing left to say? Life is weird, and I think that when we treat our characters like people, they surprise us, and they speak like people. I hope that you let your character talk. On end, people, we are so silly, and dialogue, the way we talk, is one of the most important parts in relationships. And since talking to one another is at the core of everything we do, even things like this video, I'm talking to you, I think that respecting dialogue and letting the characters speak whatever is on their mind, even if it sounds weird at times, even if it's not grammatically correct, because people don't talk in a grammatically correct manner. I think that's fine. I think that's part of the process. And if you've been following my videos, you know from the beginning is that when it comes to dialogue, there are no rules. It only works if it sounds how people talk. And most of the time that boils down to just letting the characters talk however they feel. if I must bring this back to much more, I guess, academic point of view, I guess. Please note that this whole time I've been talking about how dialogue reflects how a person feels and how they communicate with one another. And this is kind of to bring back to the point that when dialogue doesn't work, or when dialogue doesn't feel real, is when dialogue is not being used for characters relaying their thoughts and emotions or just communicating with one another, but rather using dialogue as a way to let the reader know information. Info dumps, as they're called. And these are not effective because you're just telling the reader things. That's part of it, but the biggest problem here, the oversight, is that people don't talk like that. People don't just tell you blocks of information when you live in the same world that they do, when they're all part of the exact same universe, when it is their reality. You know, it would be silly if I paused right now to explain to you the reality of the world that I live in. So I want you to hold on to the lesson of today, that you should let your characters talk, and let their talking be about what they feel, and what they think, and how they relay their thoughts and feelings to the world around them, because after all, what we say says a lot about who we are. And one more thing, I have to just slide this in under the door before anyone leaves a comment, because anyone out there may be like, okay Max, but if I can't use dialogue to let the reader know things, what can I do? And for those situations, I recommend narration. I think narration is the place for that, where it feels the most natural. But that is a video for another video. For the time being, a couple of disclaimers. First and foremost, if you had a fun time and you feel like sharing your writing, please feel free to do so in the comments down below. You're also completely free to share your writing wherever you want. Please consider, if you want, using the hashtags in the screen right now. You can share this writing, do whatever you want with it, adapt it into your works, publish it. It's your writing, your time, your work, it's yours, okay? And one more thing, the track you heard today during the writing session of this particular video was Death on the Snowfield by AmIEviL and OCRemix.org. OCRemix.org is a wonderful website filled with passionate musicians who are creating video game remixes of your favorite video games. If you want to check out the track you heard today, then in that case, consider checking out the links in the description below. You can check out a link to both of the tracks in this video right down there and go and give it a download. With all of those things said, I want to thank you for watching and thank you for tagging along. This series has been a wonderful journey, and I am excited to create more exercises for you. I hope you had fun today, and if you did, please let me know in the comments down below. I really appreciate your feedback in any and all parts of this particular video, and if you have thoughts for future exercises. And remember as well, if you would like to interact with your favorite writerly friends, feel free to do so in the comments down below. Consider this a great chance to meet other writers. And one more thing, if you enjoyed this video and would like to make sure that I can continue on making videos like this for the foreseeable future, please consider checking out my Patreon on the link on the screen right now. Patreon is a website where viewers like you can pledge your money towards the content creators you enjoy and get cool perks along the way. For instance, my patrons get to watch my videos early, and they also get DRM-free copies of my books when they come out. For the time being though, we're rolling to the formal outro. On the screen right now, you should see a subscribe button. Please consider hitting that if you want to make sure that you don't miss any one of my videos. There should also be a link to my best-selling video of all time, my guide to how to plan a novel. If you're new to writing, I recommend you go check it out. It's a complete 1-hour workshop of everything I know. There should also be a link to my Patreon and a link to my other channel with Kitty. So thank you for the time being. I want to thank you for tagging along. I really do appreciate your support on these videos, and it's been really fun. But for the time being, I want to thank you for tagging along. I hope you had fun writing, and I can't wait to do some more writing with you. Class dismissed.